Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Amanda. I'm with the Transportation Alliance's communications team. We're grateful for you joining us today to talk about TikTok and new social media. We're thankful for being able to put on this webinar thanks to a grant from Mass Development. As a couple housekeeping notes, this meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the Ride Local Massachusetts website, where you can access all of our webinars as part of this grant. That is ridelocalma.com. You can also find them on TTA's YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat button throughout the discussion, or feel free to unmute yourself and actively engage in the discussion as well. We will have time for questions at the end of the presentation. With that, I'm going to share my screen and we will get started. All right. Great. Just making sure you all can see my screen. Perfect. Okay. So today we're talking about TikTok and how it can help you build your brand with young passengers. So topics we're going to cover is TikTok right for my company? What should I be posting? And then tips for getting started and growing your audience. So when we're looking at deciding which social media platform is the right investment for our company, one of the things we have to look at is who's your audience and who are you trying to reach? What are your goals? So TikTok is probably on the newer side of the social media trends. It currently has 1 billion monthly active users as of January 2022. Comparatively, that's higher than Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So you have the opportunity when it comes to TikTok to have content that can reach an extremely wide audience and especially a younger audience. So on average, it's very interesting. US adult users spend 33 minutes per day on TikTok. That's second only to Facebook, where US adults spend 35 minutes a day. So you've got a lot of people who are just sitting at their phones, scrolling through and looking at all the videos. As you're considering why you should choose TikTok, or consider choosing TikTok over another platform, or perhaps in addition to one of the legacy platforms, which we would consider to be like Facebook and LinkedIn. TikTok has the highest engagement rate when you compare it to Instagram and YouTube, which are your two primary video content platforms. When you look at the United States, TikTok users in the US spend an average of more than 850 minutes a month on the app. So again, you have the ability for your content to get in front of people who are spending a lot of time on their phone. And then 90% of users use the app multiple times a day. So getting on there a couple times. It's very interesting. The morning in the earlier part of the week is when TikTok videos tend to do really well. And then the latter part of the days in the second half of the week, those tend to do really well because they get a lot of views over the weekend. We'll get into a lot of that specific when we talk about actually building your page. When we're talking about the audience, so in the US, TikTok is a much younger audience than other platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn. So 32% of TikTok users in the US are aged 10 to 19, And then 29.5% in the US are aged 20 to 29. So you're looking at over 50% of the users are under 30 years old, which is great for your company if as you look at getting in touch with with younger passengers who also can be some of your biggest proponents and help you spread the word about your company. So as I said, you kind of need to look and determine, is TikTok right for my company? So you need to think about your goals. If your goal is to get in touch with a younger audience and to think about, how can I establish a relationship with customers who are going to be my clients for the next, 20, 30 years. And that's when you are looking at targeting younger people. So TikTok is great for getting people accustomed and acclimate, aware of your company early. You have to think about who's your target audience, which we kind of just talked through. Is it young folks? There is a lot of a bit of a new surge with folks who are a little bit older and above like 55 who are starting to use TikTok as well. And there's not as much data on that trend, and that's kind of a newer trend, but they are coming as well. And then you have to think about allocating the necessary resources for success. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit when we go into your content that you should be preparing. So as you're thinking about getting started, your TikTok getting started, a little bit of an overview about TikTok. So TikTok is all about creating and uploading very short videos. You can string some together to now do longer videos. And TikTok is going to be launching, supposedly in the coming months, the ability to do actually longer videos up to, I think, 4 minutes is what they're experimenting with. So there's an opportunity for both short form and long form content. You can incorporate music, you can incorporate filters. You will see the absolute most popular category for TikTok is dancing videos, which your company does not have to do. There are a lot of ways for you to get involved with TikTok that are not dancing or, being super funny. So there's ways we're going to talk about that you can establish your brand channel. If you decide that TikTok is going to be the right avenue for you, the first thing you need to do is establish your brand channel. There's a lot of really helpful guides and resources on setting up a company page. Hootsuite has a really good step-by-step instructions, but it's very self-explanatory as you get started for actually building your page. Now, one of the most important things when you establish your page is starting to explore. So you need to look at trends in the industry as well as influencers. Now, we did a pretty significant amount of research going into this, and the transportation industry is very much lacking on TikTok right now, which is a huge opportunity for companies to come in and to make a huge mark in this. Now, when we're thinking about influencers, you think of some of these groups that are people and accounts that have like a couple million followers. Those do not have to be the influencers you're going for. When we talk about influencers that you should be partnering with, we're talking about local influencers and local connections within your community or your service region. So for example, is there a very popular business that's already established? Is there a popular official or, a popular page that perhaps you could get in touch with? We're going to kind of go into some of those more content specific ideas in a little bit. And then ads are actually still a really great way for getting started on your business page. TikTok doesn't require a huge budget because spontaneous videos tend to perform best. And a lot of advertisers are still spending their money on Facebook and Twitter. So TikTok actually still has a pretty significant ability for you to make an impact with your ads. Post to my page. So you're going to want to spend time, like I said, on the platform and explore. So this is really important about some on Instagram or on TikTok, I'm sorry. Videos tend to go viral very fast based on people engaging with them. So you're going to want to spend time to see who is on the platform, what is getting the most engagement, and why is it getting engagement. So look at popular hashtags, look at what's going in your region, and then spend time just exploring that platform. One thing that's really important as you're getting started on this is TikTok users do not want you to be a salesperson. So you have to sell your product without being a salesperson. So it shouldn't be a 15-second commercial for your company. This should be about taking what you know and using it to start to build a community and audience. So part of that is what do you know? In the transportation industry, there's a lot of different things that you are an expert on that folks might not know. So for example, you could post, a video with tips on driving in inclement weather. You could post videos about hidden gems in your town. You could post, if you have a mechanic shop or something, give people behind the scenes. Some content that goes over really, really well is about behind the scenes content. So what can you give an inner working picture about? A lot of people think you have to be if you're on TikTok, you have to be funny, and you don't have to be funny. You can be a very popular TikTok page that provides advice and tutorials and facts. So you don't have to be funny. Obviously a little humor is great. And if you want to get involved in one of the latest dance trends and post like an office video of everybody, getting involved in the latest trend, that's great. But you don't have to, your content can still go far without being funny. Some of the most popular pages right now are fact-based pages. And then when it comes to quality versus quantity, so in this case, the quality of your video is super important. And we are, TikTok, as you get started, hopefully you'll build up to being able to post a few times a week. But at the beginning, you need to look at it and come out with a schedule for what is going to be the best content schedule for you. A lot of TikTok, like I said, gets popular because it is a spontaneous platform, and spontaneous videos do go very well. But that doesn't mean you can't look at the month ahead and say, here's 5 different video topics I would like to talk about, and here's the dates we're going to schedule those, and then look at doing this is a great content for me that just popped up that I can do. And on TikTok, important things to remember are always use hashtags. That's how a lot of the TikTok algorithm works, is by hashtags. and then including links. So even though you're not doing a sales promo, you should always link back to your website or a way for people to get in touch with your company. So that is kind of a general run through of TikTok. I know it was a quick run through, but want to open it up for questions that people might have. Ava is on our team, and I would like, Ava is a avid TikTok user and uses TikTok to find new brands and companies to engage with. So Ava, I'm hoping you can kind of tell us a little bit about your experience as a user on why you connect with companies and why you'll choose to follow a company.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly find things through my For You page, which is the main page that you encounter on TikTok, and they'll recommend you videos based on an algorithm of other videos that you like and watch and follow. So there are a lot of brand accounts there that show up. You can do like sponsored posts, but mostly I find brands through just videos that they post on their account, and they're not paid advertisements. And I think knowing the story behind a brand or a company is really important. I saw just yesterday actually a video of a girl. She posted a video of her dad's small business and was saying that he just opened it and they didn't have many customers, and it went viral and everyone commented asking for the address. And then the next day she posted that they had completely sold out of everything. So I think that knowing like the story behind the people that really specifically run a company is super important, especially for young people that are on the app. They're more interested in that than they are in you selling a product or an idea. So I think that the personal aspect is definitely something that you shouldn't overlook in any brand. And I think that's why I connect with brands and what usually draws me to them.
Amanda, I'd like to say something.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, I think you made a great presentation. I was really very interested in it, and I really was struck by some things you said, which I did not expect, which was ways to use TikTok. You know, I'm so old. I come into this thinking, well, how can I use this to market the services we operate? But you mentioned two things, which was decide what you're, you know, since you're an expert at transportation locally, think of things like I can't remember two examples used. One was to point out, you know, local.
Yep, hidden gems.
Pardon me?
Yeah, hidden gems in your community.
Yeah. And then you said something else, which I thought, gee, that's brilliant. That's a tremendous thing, because what you're doing is you're not really trying to sell your services. You're just actually giving some use of your expertise to the public, and then it's up to them to say, hey, this person's pretty cool. I'm going to go on their webpage and see what they offer. You know, it's a very interesting. But the second thing I was thinking of through this is, you know, so many of our members, both in Massachusetts and in the broader industry, often have their children involved. And we tend to think in terms of college educated children who can help in management and so on and so forth. But, you know, I'm thinking for something like this, you know, it wouldn't hurt to bring your teenager in and make them part of the team. I'm thinking you could probably get some great ideas from better ideas from a 12-year-old than from a 30-year-old on how to use TikTok, you know. So anyway, I think this is so incredibly interesting. I have two granddaughters who are on TikTok all the time, and I never thought for 1 minute how they could help somebody's business. But anyway, I'm thinking this is really, really very, very interesting, and you made a great presentation. I think the members of our organization, both in Massachusetts and the broad TTA as a whole, would really benefit from hearing what you had to say today.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. Yeah, I strongly encourage you to look to the experts in your circle, and that's going to be a lot of the teenagers and young adults in your life. So don't hesitate to ask them for ideas, you know, and talk to them about different things that they can, that might come to their mind for ways to promote your business.
Yeah, because there's a very large crossover between the demographic that uses, for example, ride hail services and the group that uses TikTok, somewhere between that, college age, young adult group. You're going to have some TikTok users. You're also going to have some people that would be using ride hail services. And that would, if you could have a transportation company that offered fee for service on demand for hire services that was not a rideshare company or that offered similar rideshare services, I think they could really, there's a lot of symbiosis that could be gained by understanding TikTok. So, and I think your either young adult children or teenage children would be able to pass on some ideas for you. So I think this is very interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's, if one of your key audiences is that younger group of people who tend to be on their phone, booking reservations and using services that are booked through their phone, you should look at kind of getting into that same age group. And like you said, they're using their phones to book rides right now and to be on these apps. So they're the folks you would like, you should be targeting. I have another question here that came in about, we talked about some of the content ideas and elaborating on how you develop your calendar and how you decide when is the right time to post. So like I mentioned, the most popular times to post on TikTok are Monday mornings, because those posts tend to get a lot of traction in the early part of the week. And then looking at a Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon type of post, because those get a lot of traction over the weekend. And so as you're looking at deciding, so the best way for you to approach your strategy here should be to take a look at the month ahead. So go ahead, look at, are there any holidays? Are there any big events happening in your community? Growing up, I had like a fall festival every October, and it was like the big thing. And then they had this like summer concert series. And so, make sure you're aware of those, because you should be especially aiming to target folks right before those events so that you're fresh on people's minds. And so take a look at the month. And then, like I said, what are the areas that you know best? You guys know everything there is to know about cars. I mean, vehicles, every type of vehicle. Are there insights you can give onto like how they function? What are some cool features of your vehicle? So do you have wheelchair accessible vehicles that you can highlight and like highlight the safety of them? So, 5 reasons that my vehicle is safe, and highlight some of your securement options, those kind of things. And look at having, at a minimum, I would say to start, at least 2 posts a week. Now, TikTok, like I said, you're going to want to get up to be posting more than 2 times a week. But I think as you're getting started and exploring, it's good to just start to build your presence. So think about the, 2 posts that you can plan out for the rest of the month, and then look for opportunities that pop up throughout the course of the month. So is something trending on TikTok that, you're like, oh, this has a natural connection to my company, so I'm gonna get involved in this conversation. For example, a storm coming your way. here's the tips on how to prepare your vehicle for winter weather, that kind of thing. So think through, if something is trending in your area, how can you get involved in that conversation as it relates to your business? So that's how you should go about starting to plan your content, is think through a couple posts that will last you through the month, and then look for the opportunities. Now, some people might say, well, that's going to take me a lot of resources. It's actually very simple and a very user-friendly process to be posting on TikTok, and doesn't require a lot of video edit. It requires pretty much no editing throughout. So it's in terms of like staff resources, you kind of just need someone to be spending their time monitoring the trends in your area, and thinking through the connections to your company. I have another question here on how do you not be a salesperson when you're selling your company? So Ava touched on this as someone who uses TikTok to find companies to engage with. And I think a lot of us can relate to the fact that, like, I don't want one more sales pitch, right? Like, I don't want to get on TikTok and I don't want to see someone saying, 15% off for you today if you use this, something like that. You shouldn't be in your face salesperson. The way that you are going to make TikTok work for your company is by building a community around your page. And the way you do that is by sharing your advice, sharing facts, and sharing information. So then when people need your services, you are top of mind. And so I think as you're looking at, how can I be a marketer without being a salesperson? That's what you think about it in frame of, I have become an expert for these people in my community to look to, and they trust me, so they are going to trust my company, and they're going to hire my company for their needs. So I think that's one of the ways you can think about it. And I would also say it's going to take time. I mean, you can't start on any of our social media platforms and immediately, be an expert, not an expert, but like immediately take off and become an influencer, right? These things take time, they take dedication, and they take patience and consistency. So just, stick to your schedule of posting. Keep looking for trends and people to engage within your community, and find opportunities to grow your page, either through ads or this organic involvement with other organizations in your community and local influencers. And you should start to see some growth and momentum on your page over time. But it does require patience as you're going through. So I would urge that for everyone. I want to open it up in case there's any other questions from anyone. Great. Well, I thank everybody for taking the time to join us today. I really appreciate the Transportation Alliance for hosting this series of webinars on social media. As a reminder, if you have questions on any of the platforms and thinking through which platform is going to be the best for your company, we're happy to be a resource for you. You can always reach us through the Ride Local Massachusetts website at ridelocalma.com. And you'll also find on that website a significant number of resources to help you and your company with their operations. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.